like to get you to put your hands together and welcome both Arnie, Bucky and Helen, please, to do a presentation on moving forward together.
Around. My name is Arnie Bucky. I'm a Kabi elder, and I'd like to, I'm excited because there's a process going on. I've got a great team of men and women that have formed an alliance around Kabi, but not only Kabi, around a lot of other mobs right throughout this continent. And we're bringing together a little bit of excitement, but at the end of the day, we need for every man, woman to hop off their hands, stop sitting on their hands, and let's walk together. Let's walk together as warriors, peaceful warriors, that we can bring the government down there to their knees, and we can move on and reclaim our freedom. This is what it's all about. They're taking over so much, and our children and our grandchildren's future is not going to be there if we don't get off our hands. We are the beginning. You know, it's been the beginning for about 20, 30 years, but look where we are still. We haven't gone forward. My place is the beginning for you fellas. Our mobs coming together is the beginning for us. And this is what is happening. The mobs are actually starting to work together and becoming a big force within our own selves. Me as a Kabi woman, I'm excited. I want everybody to feel that excitement by actually now standing up, get off your hands, stand up beside us and walk together. We are one mob at the end of the day. And if we can create a great community within this area and the Sunshine Coast, because the Kabi mob is actually the whole of this Sunshine Coast area, up to Gympie, up to near Bundaberg. And if we can bring it all together and work together, what's that future going to look like for all the generations to come? I think this is going to be so good. We've got Helen here. Helen is one of the warriors who she's good with the computer. She's good with her mind. She's putting a lot of documents together with the help of others. So we don't do it alone. We're doing it together. Jazzy's another one. Jazzy's been working with me for, nearly 2 years now, trying to get all these documents sorted. Jazzy's the one who's put together our divine sovereignty, and we are all divine sovereigns. We've just got to know it. We've just got to feel it, and we've got to actually live it. Without living it, we don't know really who we are. So I'll give the microphone over to Helen to begin with, and she can explain to you what we have been doing, what we are about, and the next step in where we're going. Okay, before we go to Helen, we as the Kabi mob are creating our own embassy. So we've got the Kabi embassy, and I'll get Helen to explain to you what the embassy actually means on our country, and how we go about working together to use the embassy for our good and what we need to do for us. So, back to Helen.
Hi everyone, thank you for having us here today. Arao and Jigila. So I'm here speaking to you for myself and also for another mob, another nation, otherwise known as the area south of Byron Bay, Lennox Head in New South Wales, which is the tribe where I live basically. So I'm actually a formal official diplomat now for Niangabur Jagun. And I've got a couple of other people here with me who are also diplomats for Niangabur. So this is actually us living, walking and talking the prophecy of Virgin, which is all the colour skins walking together to come into our own individual self-determination so that we can then self-determine for the best place on the planet to live. So we're all very lucky to live here, but we want a future for the continent, a future for the planet and a future for humanity. And on a bigger scale, with the original tribes, we're also working with tribal nations from all over the globe, or the flat earth, or whichever one you believe in. So it's a big process, and sadly it is a lot of paperwork because the system that's oppressing us and basically genociding us is what we need to step away from, and it does take paperwork to do that. So that's the way that we come into a new future. I've been privileged, humbled and lucky to walk the pathway with a lot of mob for 2 years, full time now, but also work with a lot of other talented and conscious researchers of this continent, and a lot of other men and women who are really fighting against what we're up against. So in the courts, with the police, with all the systems of the construct that are really keeping us subjugated. So that's the task, getting out of subjugation. So to do that, for anyone who doesn't know, there's actually 369 plus original nations on this continent that existed before 1788. And as we all probably know, sovereignty was never ceded here. So that is the key, and that is the beauty of the position that we're in for the whole world, because we can work together to use that as our key to escape all this nonsense that's going on with the system. Because once the original tribes are self-determined and we choose that system, for want of a better word, we choose to walk with the tribes, we all step together hand in hand next to each other, the system will just go. So what we're doing, with the help of People's Courts of Terra Australis and lots of other men, women and smaller groups, is bringing together the suite of documents that will formalise that process. So self-determination for the mobs would all be oral. They're an oral culture. So the paperwork isn't necessarily their forte, but once we come together and get that together and put those notices out into the world, they're absolutely within their full rights to self-determine. And we as individuals, if that resonates for us, we're within our rights to step with them in that way. So definitely we're all excited. Tina was saying she could feel the excitement. We've all been jumping out of our skin all week because we get the feedback every day from the men and women who are serving our documents in the court. And that's probably something I'll just briefly touch on, the Grandmother's Law document. So the highest law of the tribes in this nation is the Grandmother's Law, LORE I'm talking about now. So we've got a document, we had a lot of warriors in the courts who were serving paperwork, but it was based from what was generated overseas. And with the highest authority on this land being Grandmother's Law, we created a document that basically notices the corporation that they are not the highest law on this land. Probably a lot of you will know they're not even in land jurisdiction when you go into the court. So they now are on notice officially as of this week with this document that grandmother's law has been brought back from dormant, and it is the superior land law on this continent. So this is basically all the documents that go with that statement. So this is, it's actually 36 pages long, but that's
a small document.
Yeah, small document. So that's bedtime reading for a lot of the judiciary and executive. You know, as usual, to date, it's been met with silence, but we all know what that means. So we can explain the document. Maybe Tina will get those images up now, so just run through them a little bit. While Tina's doing that, in line with Kabi coming into self-determination, which is permitted under the United Nations Determination and Rights of the Indigenous People, Kabi will officially, as of today, have an embassy. So it's an international embassy for the country that you're on now. So this is essentially a 3-page document. I'll just speak briefly about the symbols. So this one here has come from the spiritual tribal king of the continent. His name is Ulukai, and he's based down in what we know as Victoria. And this is his flag. It's a 1:1:16 ratio, which is more of a square shape, and it's designed to be different than a regular maritime flag because we've had enough of the maritime garbage. So it will fly from the top down because it's a land flag. We're in the land jurisdiction. The middle symbol also comes from Ulukai, and that's the ultimate spiritual symbol for all of humanity. So the consciousness that Ulukai is resonating at speaks for the entire planet. Obviously the third one over here is your Kabi flag. We've designed this suite of documents. It's somewhere between 11 and 15 documents at the moment, slipping around a little bit. But for each nation, each of the 369 tribal nations on the continent, they will obviously have their own flag. And even though we are not on Nyangabal Jargun, I'm going to get Dave to come up and unveil our Nyangabal flag. This is the first showing of our Nyangabal flag. I have permission from the tribe down there to show our Nyangabal flag. So we also have a suite of documents for Nyangabal Jargun to match these documents. So Nyangabal is down on the coast, as I said, Lennox Head, Ballina area. Land of first law, first language, first light. So we've tried to encapsulate all of that into that flag image. And if Tina wants to just quickly scroll through the document. So obviously we've got all this that you can have a look at after the meeting. But basically it's saying who Kabi Nation is, where it's located, and how we will govern ourselves. And the suite of documents with a lot of input from other diplomats and from Alex of People's Courts. It covers all the different elements that we feel we would need to address, and that is how we would stand down the behaviour of the corporation. So for each element there is a single defining document. So there's one for land, there's one for air, there's one for water, there's one for health, there's one for wealth generation. We've covered land titling. There's all kinds of, it's a big powerful suite of documents, and that's where we're going. So I might just let Jazzy say a couple of things.
Just one more thing. We talk about grandmother's law, but we also have grandfather's law. And it all works hand in hand. But there's no hierarchy within that. We're actually all, as grandmother's law and grandfather's law, working together. So we've got to make sure that, you know, through all of this, we've got a comprehension of how we, as mobs, stand together and how, at the end of the day, it all works. It doesn't work while one is more important than the other. It never works that way. It works when we all sit down together and we all make decisions together, and then we have an agreement, and that is grandmother and grandfather law. So we're all working together, and we've got a lawman who will be here tonight from the Northern Territory, and he brings with him his both grandmother and grandfather law. So we're all bringing it together.
Hi everyone. I think the thing we haven't really covered off on here for me is why is this important. Who here is aware that the council wants to increase your rates somewhere between 44 and 50%? Stand up. Who here holds a driver's licence? Who here knows that at any moment the police state can and will lock you up if you don't provide your name? Right? We've got friends and family who are in jail tonight because of that very reason. It's deeply personal. Why do we do this? We do it because Uncle Bruce taught me my freedom lies in your freedom, and your freedom lies in mine. We cannot do it without each other. We need to stop the pettiness. We need to stop my solution is better than yours. You're taking leadership, you're leaving me behind. You know what? Either slow down or speed up. Work together. That's what it's about. It's about coming back. Do you know what the real land they're after? Do you think it's the land we're standing on? This is the true land they're after. It's a spiritual war that we're fighting. If we don't stand together, arm in arm right now, pardon my French, we're all fucked. Right? This is what these documents are about. Link arms with the man and woman. Stand up. Link arms. Walk with us. You can sit down and link arms. That's okay. Hold hands. Stay down. Link it. We stand arm in arm, hand in hand. Look left. Look right. Because if we don't stand together against these fuckers, we're done. It's time what Auntie Bucky's saying is we only knew about these documents a week ago. We don't have time. We don't have 20 years anymore. We've only got now. We've only got now. You can sit down now if you like. But this is why my place has got to join with the Constitutionists. Look, I go out of my body when somebody mentions the Constitution because my declaration of divine sovereignty brings me back into my divine eternal authority, cuts me off from the dark forces and puts me directly back up with Source Creator. I'm done with those contracts. But we've got people out there who don't know this.
So it's up to you and me. Do you want to know why? Because you're here. Right? Because you've seen it. Because you've heard it. Because you feel it. Right? Time for petitions are over. Arm in arm. Arm in arm. With our originals. With the Chinese, with the French, with the blue, with the black, with the brindle. With the arseholes. Right? All of them. We've got to love the shit out of everybody. Right? To bring this home. Because there's going to be great forgiveness that's going to be involved. So, who here likes the sounds of that? Woo! Okay, well, we're in the right place. This is just the spark. Tomorrow we're going to create the fire.
So we need to make sure that we're all going to stand together once again as not just the Kabi mob, but the whole mob. You're on Kabi country, so you're part of the moving forward to get this job done. So we all need to stand together.
Yes. So just on the note of serving, so obviously we're doing that in peace and we're completely within our rights to serve these notices on anyone and everyone, because we're basically at the time now where we really don't have any more time. We've got the World Health Organisation knocking on the door to come and take this continent. That's basically where we're at. So, as I said, it's encapsulated even within the United Nations documentation that the tribes can self-determine. So they're just asserting their right to do so. We would do that in peace and just let them know that this is how things are moving. It's time for each man and woman to make a decision as to where they stand. There's no more hiding behind corporations, badges, labels, numbers, names. We're in the time of the living men and women need to decide which side of the fence they're on. The timeline is we get these documents served out and then we move on from there, and we're really hoping, you know, it's really interesting that usually the chatter at this time of year would be all about Christmas, but certainly the people that I'm engaging with and the feeling, the energy that's with us now is nothing to do with Christmas. It's all about making sure that our future is safe and peaceful and in our hands, not in the hands of tyrants. So at the moment we've got 69 nations already of 369 who have entirely completed the process of self-determination, and we've got 130 underway, so who are in this process of generating their documents, going to their elders, you know, yarning between their own mobs to get the paperwork done. So, you know, probably within the scope of, I would say, 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to have 200 nations that will be entirely self-determined, and these notices then go to the Vatican and everyone else who's on a long list of people who need to be served.
And we've had to put these documents because we know by March, I think it is, the WHO or the World Health Organisation will be trying to force its way in. We know that Palaszczuk has just resigned, so you know, all of these things are actually, we're making sure that we're not behind the 8 ball, we're actually in front of it. And we've got to keep moving, sometimes very quickly, and some get left behind because they're not ready to actually take that next step. But if we can all, you know, get together, as I say, get off your hands, let's stand, let's hold together and bring it all together, and at the end of the day, we're going to actually win this battle.
No, I think one thing is that we're pretty sure the announcement today by Palaszczuk running is because she has been served the documents. So,
Documents do mean something. They are going somewhere. But no one else is I don't like using the word understand, but we've got to get an understanding that our paperwork has actually done something within the last year. I'll let Jazzy tell you about the other work where the documents have been served and police have stepped down. Magistrates in Rockhampton have actually stepped down. They're trying to push through new ones every week and they get served just as much as everyone else. So every time they see the paperwork, they're stepping down or they're moving away.
And the beauty of it, it's not just my paperwork. We've got a beautiful soul Ramona. I don't know anybody can punch out a notice, a judicial notice as quick as that girl and send it off to 5,000 people. It's gone. Arnie Bucky and Arnie Kay are in the Human Rights Commission. Arnie Kay read out the Declaration of Divine Sovereignty and the member there said, "So, you think you're above our law?" Arnie Kay said,
Yes, we are.
and again, just so you know, we are all above their law. Because their law applies to what?
Fictions.
Fiction. Fiction and fuckery, that's what their system's about. Pardon my French. We're about real living flesh men and women with souls. We stand in this land and as our originals have known for over 60,000 years, don't give me the things about pygmies, it's in their books. Their books say 60,000 years at least. They've got no right to this planet. They've got no right to this, they've got no right to our soul, and they've got no right to the land that Creator gave us. It's about, we actually need to move out of what we conceive and perceive up here into something we've never seen before on this planet. Hierarchy models, the whole thing. It's all got to be flattened. This has got to be governed with wisdom.
So this is a kind of document that we've started producing. So this is authorised by the original people, the original tribes of where I live, the elder of the tribe where I live, and it's also been logged with Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. So that's basically my individual, as a woman, notice to them that this is where I stand. So the suite of documents can roll that out for everybody. So that's something that you could do to say, yep, this is where, it's like an oath of allegiance, you know, but in a document. And that's a very peaceful way to tell the Australian government, this is where I am. We have to allow for the other men and women, the brothers and sisters who literally have no clue, all the way up to where we are sitting here and we know, you know, that the mortgage fraud is just, they've used our birthright money to give us back loans that we then pay back and interest on top. It's like the ultimate insult, you know. So the documents is the peaceful and lawful way to show them this is where I'm going. And once we have that in numbers, you know, the system has no choice than to crumble.
We dictate the rules. Alright? And the rules are love, peace, harmony, in unison, and do no harm. They're the new rules. They're our rules. They can be your rules. Nothing's by force here. It's a choice. And then yes, we've got governing models, and there are people out there who've got models to actually work this system. And they come, as we're ready for it, they'll come to us. Does that make sense? Alright, I'm not saying we know all the ins and outs, but until we stand in unison, there is no game for us to play. Unless we're standing together, we're done. Because their rules will overtake ours. Make sense?
Hi guys, my name's Hooker Yukan. That's the Owl of Delight. I'm a sovereign man, as you've been told, of Charter, my daughter Summer. Sorry? Oh, okay. Just with the question, with how does this work? I think we all got to have a say. Okay? We all got to say on how everything is going to be managed. We as Kabi people, we won't have everything. We won't know everything. So we're going to need people like yourselves to put your input into getting this going and where do we go from here? You know, because I think that's very important. We all got to be inclusive. All right? We're one. We want to kick them out, and we want to start off like, yeah. That's all I wanted to say. So all your opinions will be counted. You know, this gentleman over the back, he might come up with something. How maybe something to do with the roads or something. Then it goes to a committee. Then it goes to the people on how we should deal with it, which way we've got to go with it. The people will decide. You know, that's what sovereignty is. It's all about one. You know, we all work together, not as like they are all out there for money, grabbing. You know, there's no power. There's just unity. You know, maybe if we're the first people to get this happening, the other people the world is going to see that this does work. And it's not the big companies that are going to rule. It'll be the people.
Hi everybody, nice to be back. I wasn't actually even aware that this was happening until I got called up to be with these amazing women who are developing this process. And this young lady in particular has done an extraordinary job of creating a framework of documents which, if you got the chance to look at, would blow you away. But we are leading the world. We're meant to lead the world. So it's not about sitting back and saying, oh, well, someone else will do it. No, we all chip in. Because we're all role models for what's about to unfold. Now, to address the question you had before about how's it going to impact on you, out of $1 that you earn, how much of that do you think you actually get to spend?
Negative 10 cents?
Yeah. It's less than 5 cents by the time all the taxes and everything are factored into it. Under the new system that's being developed, and it will be done with a lot of input from various people, income tax will disappear. You will not be taxed on what you earn because it will be considered subsistence, that which you need to survive, which can't be taxed anyway. But of that, if you purchase something, there's no taxes on the food, but you will pay a 2% or 3% cost which goes into your community bank. All funds will go into your community bank. If the plan goes out the way that we intend, and we're pretty sure it's going to, at midnight on the 31st of December, their system will cease to function on this land. Which means all of their banks cannot trade on this land. It means that all of the funds that they have in their banks will be seized as the profits of crime, which is what they are. How many people were happy when their interest rate kept going up on their mortgage while the banks were announcing $18 billion profits? And we don't think that's criminal? The banks are going to be made accountable. You're going to have your own community bank, run by you, controlled by you. Any money that goes and spent comes back into the system. It's what true self-governance is all about. And here's the other flip side of it. Let's say who's paid off their mortgage after 20 odd years or something? How would you like the idea of suing the bank for the fraud in the first place and getting all of that money back times 4? Because that's what you're going to be able to do. Because we're under the law of the First Nations people. And they don't think that's fair. Things are going to change radically. We're reviewing education, we're reviewing agriculture. There'll be no GM foods allowed to be planted anywhere. All gone. Why? Because the First Nations people want us to go back to being organic and natural. This is going to be implemented whether they like it or not. And anyone who doesn't agree will be putting up this hand and saying, well, I take the side of genocide. I take the side of fraud. And they'll be held accountable in the First Nations Boral courts and also international courts.
And they'll be asked to leave our nation.
Okay?
We don't want our nation negative.
That's the power that has come into your hands. Because the First Nations people, the mobs are all coming together, and so are the whiteys like me. We're standing beside them and saying, what do you want us to do? Whatever you want me to do, I'm here to do it. I'm not backward and coming forward. Those of you who know me, I call a spade a spade. But I've thrown my efforts 100% behind these people because they are right. There is no other choice. If this doesn't get done, you will be slaves to the who. And they're going to inject you with all sorts of crap. If you do nothing, nothing will change. This amazing group is doing something not only amazing, but incredibly powerful and lawfully correct. And it will happen. We're going to give you plenty of opportunity to go to Zoom calls, to ask questions. We're going to give you plenty of opportunity through an emergency broadcast system to cut through so everyone on this land knows what's going on. We're not hiding anything. We're telling them, your time's up. This is a new era for the world, and it starts here. And it starts literally now.
Who's ready for happiness?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. Better life for everybody. Okay? Government likes to divide and conquer us. No more. You know, that's the thing of the past. We're here for everybody. You know, let's get those cops working and let's build on it. You know, spread the word to everybody. Now we're genuine. You know, I'm here, otherwise I wouldn't be here starting this, but yeah. So thank you very much for all turning up.
I'm just going to add on one more thing to what Greg has just said, you know, about if you're not going to come to the party, it's time to go. So Uncle Juma has worked now for 3 years noticing the corporation. We can't get any answer. He's served eviction notices. So this is all the serious law business. Under the maxims of LAW law even, it's fraud to conceal a fraud. So anyone who continues participating in the fraud, once you know, under notice and knowledge, you're then contributing. You're contributing to 233 years of genocide. You're committing to current genocide. So there's no middle ground. You know, the law is very clear, it's very perfect. We've got an international human rights lawyer who has made a statement that says the Australian corporation, because they occupied this land from the beginning without meeting any of the 5 key criteria to occupy another land, they've committed genocide from the beginning. And everything, once you commit a fraud, under the LAW law, everything after the fraud is fabrication. So that's where we're at. And we need everyone to decide. You know, those of us who feel it, we're literally going back to 1788 and saying we want this done properly and we want it done together. And that's the only way we're going from here.
Does anyone know what ancient pactum means? Anyone? Ancient pactum is like an agreement. We don't like using the word treaty because that's a European word. But the only way around that, we had to use like a Latin type explanation of all the tribes, and we are in ancient pactum with all these other mobs. And I feel that today is the day that we actually do really move forward. I feel a lot of happiness and I feel a lot of joy seeing everyone here who is on the same page.
And country.
And on Kabi country, so, which is great. But I've had 2 phone calls today from 2 different mobs who are coming to our place to see us. So, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of Kabi, the Kabi mob actually now having a voice. We've been shut down for too long. We've now got a voice, and the other mobs are starting to listen. That's what I'm glad about.
Now, on that note, even with the water, so although we're saying the overarching law of the land, LORE, is what we're standing under, within that, we're going to use the tools that we have. We've got 3, 4, 5 maybe Commonwealth public officials who are with us and sitting inside LORE with the de jure Commonwealth stamp, right? So even if we have to step back to that as an interim temporary measure so that the other side see it. It's not because we need to go there or want to go there or it's going to be a long-term solution. But for now, if they're going to be belligerent and as an extra level of protection, legally, lawfully, peacefully, okay, if you don't want to see the LORE and where we're standing, see the de jure Commonwealth. Because I've got the documentation from a case that was in the Supreme Court less than 7 weeks ago, and the Supreme Court judge recognised that the man standing there had him in de jure Commonwealth jurisdiction. Now they had to bring the Crown to the court that day. The Lieutenant Governor came in the vehicle with the little Crown picture plate on the car. They had to physically bring him there, right? So this is the place that we're at. We've done all the noticing. We're all way over noticing. We've done all the protesting in Canberra. We've done all the petitions. Now we're going to tell you this is how we're doing it, because we, the people, are the people. And we don't need to do it your way. We want to do it the truthful, transparent, LORE way.
It is a big thing. I'm from out of country. I'm a diplomat from Yangabal Nation. And we can make this happen. We congratulated my place a bit earlier today because we got over 1,000 members here in this group, in this area. Just think of the impact and the unity that will show to the court, to the police, to the council. When that 1,000 people turn up there tomorrow and stand together. And imagine if every one of those 1,000 people brought a friend. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this together. But to do this together, we've got to bring our friends. So make sure you bring someone with you, and let's make sure the 1,000 members all know and can come, and we can all stand as one in unity and make this happen.
There are notices that will be going out publicly. We've got global media releases coming and so on. But a lot will be refined in the next 48 hours with Craig and Juma here. So watch this space.
We don't want the council. We don't want them. We want our own self-governance. And that is where we're heading.
I'd just like to say one more thing. Let's make a better, easier life for all of us. For the next generation coming, for your kids, your grandkids. That's what we want. You know, that's all we want. And I think you want it too. So let's get on board and let's spread the word. Thank you very much.
I know that I'm on board with this 100%. We don't have another choice because we do not have a say in their system. They dictate to us what they want as an outcome. We don't get to contribute. We just suffer the elements of what they give us. Remember, our motto is exactly the same. We do everything legally, lawfully, peacefully, because we own that. We have the power amongst us. They have no power. When we stand up, their game's over. Now's the time. We've been talking and talking. Now is the time we act.
Action.
This is our option. This is our path forward. This is where we walk together and we walk as sovereigns because they do not belong on this land and we will get rid of them together. So please put your hands together and thank them very much.
I'm Robert. How are you?
I'm good, how are you? And Robert, you are the CEO?
I am the CEO.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind coming down here. My knees are...
Oh, no problem.
Okay. I'm only Bucky. I'm a Kawiona. My name is Bucky Gatan Tupu. I'm here with the lawman. This is Uncle Juma and grandmother Malara. We have a document here to serve you in regards to our own self-governance. We are under grandmother law. We will give you that document. And we've all come in peace. We're all working together. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you realise that Kabi and all the mobs across this continent are self-governing. We don't need the council to come onto our land and destroy it. We've already had the Jackie Kundu destroyed through all of you fellas who don't care about our sacred sites. They're heading to Poona Lake, trying to destroy the land around our sacred women's area. That needs to stop now. All of this needs to stop. We come in peace. We don't come, as you may think, in anger. We just want you to understand that this is our law, this is our self-governance, and we want you to understand that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you
Okay.
those are the United Nations Declaration that obviously backs up the rights to self-determination of the original people.
Thank you.
And you know, this is an open forum, I guess, for you guys to come and stand in the truth and walk with the original and the only superior law of the land.
Look, thank you, everyone. Look, thanks for these. Noted. You've got on camera, so we got that all covered.
All you need to do is read it and understand it.
You are now served.
Thank you.
Yes, you've
Thank you
now
very
been
much,
served. You've now been served.
Thank you.
We're not prepared to sign the document. Happy to keep it. Happy to take advice. I'm Dave Lewis, Director of Corporate Services.
Sorry, David, what did you just say? You're not
Can you get a
prepared
copy
to
of it?
sign receipt of the
We're
document.
not prepared to sign that at the moment. You've got us on film receiving the
Okay, we'll just
the
put there
statement.
Dave Lewis refused to sign.
But you could stamp it with your stamp here and put the time
We're
and
not
date.
prepared to do that at the moment, but we will do it.
Don't need to be prepared for that, just...
It should be done today because we're here today
Yep.
and it's a normal process. I've brought documents in before and it's stamped, dated and
Yep.
signed as having gone over the counter. So therefore, this is the same process. And to say that you'll do it later when the event is no longer an event.
Right. Well, we're not going to sign that document today.
Okay,
Why not?
that's what it's saying.
Why not?
We'll sign it.
Dave Lewis,
That's
and
right.
he's the Doctor of Corporate
Director.
Services. Director of Corporate Services.
And you're not giving any grounds for refusing, you're just refusing...
Well, we're not
On what
prepared to
grounds?
sign the document. We know nothing about it.
Well, that document is your document in term that it just shows that you received the
It's not our
document.
document.
It's not to the content of the
It's not
document.
our document.
No, but it's that you received a document.
Yes.
That's got nothing to do with the
We're
content
not
of the
prepared to
document.
sign
So in other words,
today.
we weren't here because you're not prepared to put a signature on a piece of paper at a time that we were here, when all these people have been in here and you're not prepared to do the normal stamping. I've had this lady stamp documents for me before.
Yep.
There's a stamp, it's right here, right?
Yep.
Got it?
Yep.
It goes on the paper, the lady puts a signature and a time on it.
Oh,
So that is nothing to do with why we were here,
We'll
but you're not
stamp-
prepared to do
We'll
it.
stamp the front page of the document and give you that back if that's what you want.
Yeah, that'll do.
There we go. Because, I mean,
No,
seriously,
not that.
what are you worried
Not
about?
that.
Front page.
So you're going to make a copy of the front page, stamp it and send it back. That's fine. That'd be great.
He said he'd stamp it now, the front page.
No, the front page of the document.
The front page of the document.
Yeah.
So
So
that,
if you can give me your stamp for a sec. No, it's all right, I'll do that.
Thanks, David, that's great.
Sorry about that. We've got a photocopy upstairs. Mission accomplished? Yep, there we go. So it just says received at Town Hall. My date, my signature and date.
Beautiful.
right.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Have a lovely day, Dave. Copies, aren't they?
Yeah, they're copies. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pretty much. Yeah, no worries. Take care.
Man, thank you.
My name is Nani Bucky, that's Nani Cookie. This is paperwork that I'm serving to the court. And if you want to stamp it, that'll be good, but otherwise, we've got paperwork here for you to sign.
Stamp? No, you just did this is the copy. You just need the front pages stamped. Thank you. Are they
keep those copies. The original. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, the original each. Where do you need them to sign?
Just the stamps.
Just the stamps, fine. Changes everything. Okay, so this is for all courts and all magistrates, and you have been served. Thank you. Thank you. I hear the voice of my grandmother's calling me. I hear the voice of my grandmother's song. She says, wake up, John, wake up, John, listen, listen, listen. Here we go. Arouse. My name is Ani Baki Dakan Kuku. I want to serve these documents to you. And I'd like you to actually go through them, read them, but we'd like to actually have a stamp on each document to say that they have been served to you.
I'm not going to stamp it.
Yeah, take off the full document. Yeah.
Sorry, you are Sergeant.
Sergeant Brock Murphy. Thank you.
Can we have
We need a receipt.
a receipt for the document?
You'll give a receipt, Rebecca? Give a receipt.
I can take this and pass it along, but I can't give you a receipt for it. If you want a receipt, I can't take it.
Can you sign, have you got any paperwork in there? I just want to explain this document.
Yep.
Under grandmother's law, this lady carries grandmother's law. Uncle Juma,
He's having a fag.
Uncle Juma, who is a lawman from Northern Territory.
I'm not willing to just sign and do that.
Oh, that's right. You listen to me and you will understand. So we are here. This is Kabi Kabi and our own self-determination and our own governance. And we do not want you fellas to actually involve yourself in our business. We have our own governance to do that. So in saying that, we have the community of Gympie who are behind us. They are standing with us in this. So we just want to make sure that you have that document. What's your name? So I can write your name here.
My name is Brock Murphy.
Sorry?
Brock, B-R-O-C-K, M-U-R-P-H-Y. But I'm not willing to sign any of the documents. So I'm happy to accept this and pass it along to my supervisors.
That's all right.
But I cannot give you a receipt.
So can I have your badge number, please?
12903.
Brock, that document is for all members of the force. It's not just for one or
Notice
two.
to one is notice to all.
And the council's already stamped it, so maybe you can do something.
Yeah, council stamped it, court stamped it.
Doesn't matter, it's on the record.
Yeah, it's got a consideration stamp on it as well.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Have you got that last
Look,
page?
I would like to show you as evidence, see, today's date, Gympie Magistrates Court stamped that document,
Yep.
or one of the copies to that document. So we would really like it if we could receive this police stamp on that document, or this one, and a photocopy of it.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to do that, so.
Okay, you can place it then. You're a
Would you like me to
notice.
accept this or not?
So
Well,
you
you've been
have
served.
been served a lawful and legal notice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you all who turned up today for this momentous occasion. We're all part of the future because we're here today. We're all doing this together, so that means we're working together as a community. Kabi mob with the rest of you fellas from Gympie who are part of the bigger picture. We're doing this for the generations to come. We have now served the council, the Gympie Council, the Gympie Magistrates Court and the Gympie Police Station. They all now know that we as a Kabi mob are doing and have our own self-governance. We would really appreciate it. The other mobs coming together, they're all here. We've got Bachelor, we've got Nyangabal, we've got Larrakia. So if you don't know where those places are, do your research, look it up. They aren't just down the road. They've been driving for hours. Uncle Juma had to catch a plane down here. So, and we've also got Craig with his flash glasses on. I'm just so grateful that we can do this together, and I hope you feel the same as me. This really actually can bring.
If I may. So where to from here? What I'd love to see, and I'll put it out to you, is that we form our own tribal councils in our local area, not to do with the land council, but our own, right way, law way, autonomous council, tribal council, and that we have a process where we can adopt all of you into the tribe. So that is actually what a lot of us would like to see, where you get to learn our culture, you get to learn some of our language, and you get to understand and abide by our law. And then that way we'll all be living in peace and harmony, and we all walk together, we sit together, what one's doing, it's for all. So that's the future that I see, and I'd love to see that right across the country, but it's happening here already.
I'll just add to that from the 18th of December to the 23rd, we've got a House of Law sitting down in my country. I've been occupying land down there for 2 years now, and I live right on the beach, perfect for summer. Alex and a lot of people have been here, and this will just go into discussing more about customary laws, ancient pactums, and how we as the original people afford you guys the proper solution of diplomatic immunity, I guess.
And we have adoption as part of our customary law, but we want to know who you are first, and you got to sit down with us and break bread with us, as we've heard that somewhere. I've heard that before. So I think that there's a future for all of us to come together the right way under our law, LORE, not this one.
Grandmother Malara she's the grandmother law woman from her country. I can't
pronounce it.
That's it. Whatever that was.
So it's Northern Flinders Ranges, South Australia. So it doesn't really matter where we are on this continent. We're all kind of connected through our bloodlines, through our songlines, through our dreaming.
Through the air that we breathe, we are all connected to everything.
And our ancestors breathed that air.
Yeah.
So this is our way of opening the sovereignty, really returning as well, sovereign people to all of you. We've got what did Uncle say, the 7 DNAs running through us.
Yeah.
We're just not all one, but it's a pretty powerful drop of blood that's this original one, and we know that you will feel it because you're here.
Yeah.
So let's work it out. Yeah.
So thank you so very much for coming, being a part of history. I think this history is very important for all, and I feel, yes, we may finish up with grandmother's song.
I just don't have all the verses with me.
Or just the first verse. Only the first verse.
All right. One,
so
two,
I want
three.
everybody to sing too.
I hear the
voice of my grandmother's calling me.
I hear the voice of my grandmother's song. She says, wake up, child, wake up, wake up, child. Listen, listen, listen. I hear the voice of my grandmother's calling me. I hear the voice of my grandmother's song. She said, wake up, child, wake up, listen, 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 listen.